Hey guys, Luton here, and today I'm going to be talking about Cities Skylines. Now, this is a fantastic game made by Paradox. It's a city building game, it's a management game. It enables you to create cities across a massive map and develop them, run them however you see fit. It's really creative, it's really enjoyable, and this week they have topped 1 million units sold. And really what I want to talk about today is, how you don't have to have a gargantuan marketing campaign, a hype fest, in order to sell your game. And almost it's kind of like, if they have a gigantic marketing campaign around a game, why is that? Because it's not strictly necessary. It's a good thing for, I guess, in terms of getting the game out there, of course, but sometimes I'm a little bit like, they really are pushing this too far, and it's like, why are they doing that? You guys know that I'm not like a massive fan of marketing and hype fests. I'm quite cynical about it, mainly for the reason that a lot of the time it just feels so disingenuous. It's like, really, you're just like, why are you doing this to us? It's just kind of almost very clickbait a lot of the time, and that just pisses me off. It's like, you shouldn't need to be almost kind of tricking people or tantalizing people into things. The game should stand up on its own 2 feet, so that when you look at it, you're like, yes, that is a damn good product, and that's why I want to buy it. And a lot of the time I just feel like that doesn't happen, especially with AAA games. But with Cities Skylines, again, it just absolutely proves that point. They have got a solid product, a solid game, and that's why people are buying it, because it's actually a really good game. It's actually a quality product, and that's what people should be, striving for. Not just like, let's knock this thing together and then we'll hype the shit out of it so that everybody wants to buy it. That's not how it should be. But what did Cities Skylines do right? Well, for one thing, they kept it simple but a really high quality game. They also gave a fantastic platform in terms of showcasing the game early on. They enabled streamers and YouTube producers to get their hands on the game early, often a week before the game came out. It was completely accessible. You could do everything you needed to in the game, and that was amazing because it enabled you to showcase the game to the whole community. And there was just, when I was live streaming, I was pulling down 1,000 viewers, 600 viewers on every day. I streamed it for about 3 days straight, and people were going crazy for it. They were just like, wow. And I would play for hours and hours, and people were just loving it. And they were like, this is so fantastic to be able to actually see the whole game and, nothing restricted, and say, like, this looks amazing. This is a product we want. I want to buy this now. And so come the first day, everybody was buying the game because they were just so ready for it. It was a really good way to run it. The game itself gives you a massive amount of creativity and freedom. You can build the cities pretty much however you want to. They're often as well very expandable. You can open up to 9 grid squares out of the original one. And the original grid square, compared to something like SimCity, it's very comparable, just that first square. And then you can unlock another 9 of those. So it gives you a massive area to build onto. One of the other things the developer did really, really well was that they just looked at what titles had come before. Obviously, there's, SimCity, for example, is the biggest one up there. But they looked at what people were so frustrated about with those games and then just said, hey, okay, let's fix that and give people what they want. And that has been a massive deal. SimCity, obviously it didn't have the best launch because there was some issues there. People would just lose their cities randomly. There were traffic management issues and so on and so on. Some people were frustrated with the size, and it was a bit restrictive in terms of the overall map size. And, for that reason, it kind of soured it. And it's a shame because actually it's still a really enjoyable game. There's a lot that I like about SimCity still. And, they fixed those issues relatively early on. But it does just go to show that if you have some problems at the start, you cannot be sitting around on your laurels. You really got to get in there and get that stuff sorted, because if you wait too long, people just move on. The world that we live in at the moment is like, the game's coming out left, right and centre every single week. If you drop the ball, people just move on to something else. I know I will. And it's like, people will not stick with stuff anymore. If it doesn't work, they'll just go, this sucks, I'm going on to something else, or I'll save my money. People are just not interested. They just don't have the patience anymore for it, because that's the world we live in. So you've got to get it right, or as right as possible, first time. And if you don't listen to your community, they will just walk away. So it's really, really important, and I'm sure that developers are obviously, they're not stupid. They're taking all these things on board. One of the other huge things with Skylines is its modding capability. They have enabled mods from day one, and people can just go with pretty much whatever they want. You have the great platform of the Steam Workshop, so people can just very easily just subscribe to the different mods, and bam, they're just there on your system ready to go. And you can toggle them on and off in the game. It all works really fantastic. It's just smooth and great. And from the developer point of view, it's just exponentially added to and grown the game already within the first couple of weeks. We already have hundreds of new buildings that people can add into the game. There's loads of really fantastic traffic management aspects. So for example, you can turn off traffic lights, there's lane management things, there's tracking systems so you can watch where your people around the city are moving and try and understand the traffic patterns and maybe where you need to address those issues. There's various cosmetic, aesthetic things as well. There's loads of stuff coming in there already, and this is only the first couple of weeks. So the amount of stuff that people are going to be adding through mods already, and a lot of the time when a community is so driven, you only have to look at something like Armour with Bohemia there. It's like the community is so driven in Armour that often the mods well outstrip what the developer is actually putting together. You just have to look at stuff in Armour like the JSRS mods or the blast core things and stuff like this, all really amazing modifications which have been around way beyond the developer's actual capability in terms of bringing that stuff to the table. So that's really impressive, and we're seeing that as well with Skylines, which is bound to be another massive selling point and why people are just loving the game so much. So again, a massive check there for those guys bringing that on board. The other thing is just the game is really stable. It's just solid quality. You pull massive high frames, well above 60 all the time when you're playing, no matter, even if the city is massive, it doesn't lag. It stays stable all the time, and that's really good because a lot of the time you're moving very quickly, you're having to make a lot of quick changes, and you're trying to build your city as quickly as possible. You're trying to be really efficient with what you're doing, and the last thing you need is lag holding you back or slowing you down, or you turn the camera and it stutters. That's just going to be frustrating as hell. I've had like the odd crash in the few weeks since I've been playing it, but basically nothing really at all. It's been very, very stable, and I've had a fantastic game experience with it. So Paradox have done an amazing job with City Skylines. If you haven't checked out the game, I really recommend that you do. If you don't own the game, you're missing out, unless I suppose you really hate city builders. The price, I've got to say, well, last thing, the price as well. When this game came out, I mean, you look at the price of AAA titles, this was around about like half what I expected to pay. They could have doubled the price on this game and I still would have bought it. It probably sounds like I'm really singing their praises a lot, but this is just my genuine opinion about this game. It's not so often that especially nowadays, this has been the thing that's been the best for me about this game. It's not so often now that I get really excited and really passionate and really enjoy a game. But with Skylines, I really have that. I love the hell out of this, and it's been doing very well for me on the live stream. I mean, it's been doing at least double the viewership of, say, Hardline or Armour this week. Whenever I stream Skylines, bam, there's a ton of people watching and they're really enjoying it. So it's been fantastic for me to play and to stream and to get all you guys involved. It's been awesome. So yeah, that's the thing. It just goes to show that you do not require these gigantic marketing campaigns in order to sell your product. What you need to have is a solid product, and sadly that's something that's just lacking, and it seems to be overlooked more often than not. You wouldn't think it, and I sometimes wonder, I don't think, it's obviously not deliberate. I don't think people are just out to make bad games and they don't care, but it just goes to show that if you really do put the effort in and you really do get that quality product and you actually listen to your community and you give the community what they want, it pays back pays back over and over itself. And they have managed to do that. They've got 1 million sales now. It's still moving forward. This is very early days. This game is going to be huge. And you have stuff like the map modifier. You can build a complete sandbox map. There's so many tools in this game which is just going to allow it to go on and on and on. And they haven't even unlocked any of the extra expansions or packs, other stuff which I'm absolutely sure is going to be coming along the line. So City Skylines is just going from strength to strength, and I love it. I don't see it going away anytime soon. And considering Paradox and the team that put this game together was really quite small by comparison to some relatively large other developers around. So, big producers, big developers should really be looking at this game and taking note of what they have done there, because honestly, it puts to shame some of the larger developers, to be quite honest. So drop your thoughts below about City Skylines, guys. I may actually have an interview with their CEO coming up pretty soon if I can get that one locked down. And that'll enable me to give some questions to them about the game and the development process and maybe where they're going forward in the future. If you have any questions you want to ask about City Skylines, drop it in the comments below. Tell me what you think about the game as well. Have you bought it? Are you enjoying it? If not, maybe you're going to buy it soon. You know, tell me down there. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time for some more City Skylines.